I had an epiphany about prostitutes. Not really, but kind of. I was watching a documentary on 3 prostitutes and this other guy who beats people for pay, sexually at least. But the 3 prostitutes that follow him around, this is in Seattle, so this isn't in Thailand or something. This is up the road in America. I learned when I was listening to this, I've heard something for years and years, and that is this idea of what society says this, society, because, and that's that was one of the major themes throughout all their little documentary of them talking was society says this. Of course, society is just a word for a group of people. So when they say society, as you probably have, and you certainly heard it before, what that means is a group of people don't like this. And people who say that don't like it because no one, especially non-Christians, but no one likes to be told what they're doing is wrong. And so I have to have an enemy that tells me what I'm doing is wrong. But here's what the epiphany was this. The epiphany was not that society tells me this and it makes me all upset for being a prostitute. It was something I never would have thought about before. And it was this. In the documentary, and the people who were talking about there being a prostitute, none of them told their friends about it. And they eventually told their mom or their aunt or whomever, eventually. But in general, they were not surrounded by people disapproving their behavior because it was a secret. No one knew it. So society wasn't telling them how bad person they were, how they shouldn't do this, how they were wrong, how they're going to hell. They did not hear those messages hardly at all from anybody, but they perceived of it. And the reason why is because when they said society, what they really meant was, I feel guilty. I feel guilty. I feel this sense that something's telling me I should not be doing this. And they talked about this, even some of the women before her first time she had sex with a stranger for money, for $1,200. Before that happened, and she's like, sometimes I lie in bed and go, aren't I a horrible person? These aren't religious people at all. What they did was they attributed that to society. Those society group of people, no one's telling them that. They just assume that. The epiphany is, what they call society is really what we call, in Christianity, the moral law. There's a sense of conscience. We have a conscience. And the moral law tells us we shouldn't do that. Now, it is an absolute fact that we can feel guilty about things about which we are not morally culpable. Absolutely true. But it's just not true that all the times we feel guilty, we've done nothing wrong. And in general, when you feel a sense of this is not right, I shouldn't be doing this, instead of saying, well, society is just shoving that down my throat, is it conceivable that the reason why you feel guilty is because you are? Is it possible that it's not society, but something inside you called the conscience that says, I shouldn't be doing this? But when we deal with that guilt, we don't want to feel it because it feels very uncomfortable, and it should feel very uncomfortable. Because in the Christian worldview, we have a reason for that. That's God telling us, you shouldn't be doing this. I love you. I've designed you for life. This is not how it's supposed to work. I want you to feel uncomfortable so you pay attention to it, so that you stop doing it. Pay attention. It feels uncomfortable when I step on a Lego. It feels uncomfortable there's a pebble in my shoe. It gives, all my attention goes to that, to stop it. Well, there's something, because if I keep walking on it, it's going to injure my foot. So having pain receptors and nerves in my feet is a good thing. It draws attention to it. Well, the moral conscience is like that. It draws attention to there's some behavior that we should not be doing. But what most people do is they try to deny that. Nope, 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 there's nothing wrong, nope, 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 nope. And the best way to deny it is, there's 2 best ways. One is you go to substances. You drink it off, drug it off, sex it off, whatever you can, so that I numb that sense of, I shouldn't be doing this. The second most popular way, the best way to do it is hang around other people who also do what you do. That's the best way. And the real golden level, third option is get both 1 and 2 in the same option. So if you're an alcoholic and you know you shouldn't be drinking that much, go hang out with other alcoholics at the bar. If you're a pedophile, go find a community of pedophiles. And it really helps numb that sense of I should not be doing this because you have camaraderie. See, we can find a lot of community, and community can feel so good and make us feel like we're doing the right thing. That's one way we can numb things. The other option when we start feeling guilty, of course, is to avoid it at all costs. And that avoiding at all costs means we either don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. That's one option, but it's kind of like numbing it. We try to avoid all costs to say, I'm not going to go there. The second major way people deal with their guilt is by getting angry. Since I can't feel these uncomfortable, sad feelings anymore because I don't want to go there and I'm going to drink it off or whatever, since someone's got to be to blame for the uncomfortable feelings I feel, and it can't be me. Why? Because I can't be doing anything wrong, because I can never be wrong, because it's my body, my choice, I'll do what I want to do. You have to be to blame for why I feel uncomfortable. And so this you becomes this abstract thing, society. And so what happens, just like in the documentary, when it showed one of the prostitutes about a year or 2 later, who seems like a really bright, sweet young lady, fast forwards to her now, she looks hardened and she's like, I've learned to say no and blah, blah. She just looks meaner and rougher and tougher and whatever. Of course she is. The point is, you feel this sense of anger, you walk around and just people are judging me. They're just, no, they're not. Everyone's a bunch of narcissists on their earphones or whatever, and they're all obsessed about, worried about what they look like and they have followers or not. But because we have this personification, it must be other people, I turn that into anger, I turn that into rage. What I have found is that if a person has a religious background of any sort, particularly in a monotheistic religion, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, if they have religious upbringing whatsoever, they don't typically say, society says I shouldn't do it. They say God, or religious people, or Bible, or Christians, or whatever it might be. They go straight there. If they grew up in an environment where it's not Christian, then typically they say society said. The bottom line is still the same. Someone's got to be to blame for why I feel so badly, and it can't be because I'm doing something wrong. It's got to be because someone else is trying to tell me I'm doing something wrong, and they're wrong for doing that. Don't they know that everybody ever who tells someone they're doing something wrong is doing something wrong themselves? It's a sin to tell people they're sinning. It's bad to judge people. They're bigots. Who do you think you are? We're just evolved chimps. Well, see, there's the problem. None of those things I've suggested, whether we're numbing the pain or whatever it might be, whether I'm mad at the person, none of those things actually solve the problem. And all my pastoral ministry for decades and counseling people and dealing with just the real world and dealing with just real people, they don't work. They just don't work. They don't deal with the problem of guilt. Even in the documentary, some of the people of the 3 prostitutes, I think it was 2 of them, got out. They said it wasn't for me, I changed my mind because it's too this, and one person couldn't deal with it. That's it. Now, why is that? Is it because society's forced them? Maybe, but not in this situation because they're surrounded by people who don't know what they're doing. Instead, they feel guilty. But I wonder if you feel guilt ever. I wonder if you can learn from that guilt. And the answer to guilt is not denial, and it's not rage. The only solution to guilt I've ever come across that actually works, really, is Jesus. What Jesus has done for you and for me is the only solution to that problem I've ever heard of, and it really actually works. I just started a TikTok channel. If you're on TikTok, real short snippets of different reflections you might find interesting. If you like this video at all, would you mind clicking a like, subscribe, share with your friends? The more you do that, the more the algorithm picks that up and the more people get to be exposed to that. If you like it, please let people know about it, and God bless you. I'll see you next time.